So if you clicked on this video, it is fair to assume that you are trying to begin your self-improvement journey and you have no idea where to start. With so many terminologies associated with self-improvement, you know, your NoFap, your dopamine detox, your monk mode, it can be very confusing and it puts you into a dilemma as to where you should start. My goal here is to make sure that you don't get put into this dilemma. So let's not waste much time here with the intro and just get straight into it. Our goal here is for you to ultimately wipe out your bad habits and replace them with your new good habits. This is how you start off self-improvement. Simple as. Forget about NoFap, forget about monk mode, forget about the dopamine detox. When you are first starting out, you first want to get into the routine of doing the good habits. Those other challenges on self-improvement are for a completely different time and should only be done when you are doing self-improvement for a consistent amount of time. I'd say maybe 1 to 3 months. Anyway, to start off, we need to know the first 4 habits that you're going to be doing. These 4 habits are lifting, meditating, journaling, and reading. Then you're going to make something called a habit tracker. Now what a habit tracker is essentially just writing down the main habits that you want to do in your day-to-day life for a month. In the left column, you write a number for every single day of the month, 1 through 30 to 31. And then on the top, you write a couple of habits. Let's just say these 4 habits here: lifting, meditating, journaling, and reading. Then you kind of just connect those 2 together and make boxes in between those columns. If you are confused, I've probably already put up a habit tracker that I have myself on the screen as I'm speaking. So as I said, in here, we're going to simply just put in the 4 main habits for you. Now you may see stuff I have here like posting, editing, all that. That's because as we get onto a later stage of the video, I found what I want to do for my finances. For now, just focus on the 4 main habits here. Our goal for you is to do these 4 habits as much as possible. We want to do every day and every single day of the week. Besides lifting, as you obviously need rest days to grow. Now you probably will not be able to get all done every single day and every single day of the week. That is fine. Life does get in the way. What matters at the end of the day is that you are setting goals towards the actions that you want to take in your day-to-day life. Now quickly, we mentioned reading as the 4th habit, right? Reading what? Fiction? Finance? No. Now, although finance books are a key part into self-improvement, like the 4-Hour Workweek and Unscripted, we first want to get you into a book that starts you off with habit building, since I've made it so clear in this video that it is such an important thing to be habit building. And this book is called Atomic Habits. You can get this book for just $15 on Amazon, or it could be a little soy boy and just get it for free on a PDF online. No, but seriously, when you're getting books, make sure you buy them because it forces actions from what you are learning in those books. Trust me, man, it's serious, the grand gesture. But yes, this book is crucial when you're starting out on self-improvement. Forget about finance, lifestyle, 4-Hour Workweek, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all of those. Money comes from self-improvement. The benefits of self-improvement is what will help you get more money in the long run. It works like leveling up in a video game. Before these virgin Minecraft speedrunners were around, we knew the obvious knowledge, right? You don't want to go into the end with just a wooden sword and leather. You gotta think of it in the exact same way as making money here. You need to be healthy above all. Physically, mentally, and socially. All 4 of these habits, lifting, meditating, journaling, and reading, will help you get these things. Like Andrew Tate said, the most important thing is 1, your health, which lifting helps with, and then 2nd, your relationships with family and friends, which meditation and journaling particularly helps with, as these 2 help with mental clarity, anxiety, and also being really good at being in the present moment, which not many people are good at with the short form content of TikTok and now YouTube Shorts and Reels on Instagram. Then he said money as 3rd. Why 3rd? Well, yes, obviously, we can't really live without those first 2, but also being at a high level in those 2 in your health and healthy relationships with family and friends, you're going to be making money so much easier. So don't listen to those people like Jason Woho or whatever his name is, who say there's no use in exercising, it's only go full out on money. Because the chances you have of making it rich without prioritizing yourself first are slim to none. And if you do make it, you'll be in that position where you're practically so invaluable outside of money that you just have to pay for every single woman that you get. Just like I bet he does. Don't work out. Get the hell out of here, man. Moving back to the main topic here, Atomic Habits. But please, I beg you, make this your first self-improvement book. Then you can get into books that are financial related, like the 4-Hour Workweek, the Millionaire Fast Lane, which I have right here.
Cheers, Jeff.
Because Atomic Habits covers the way that habits work, how to build habits, and also, most importantly, how to sustain your habits and keep making them more difficult so they're more effective for you and can still help you improve in the long run. Now, it didn't harm me that those two first books I read, The 4-Hour Workweek and The Millionaire Fastlane, were my first self-improvement books. It still did set me up for a good roadmap as to where I want to go in life with the lifestyle I want to strive for. And I think what truly saved me here with this habit building was watching Hamza's videos, because he did still take principles out from the Atomic Habits into his own lessons that he teaches people. But if I wasn't watching him and Atomic Habits wasn't my first book, I'd probably go down that same cycle of going extreme, cutting out all the bad stuff immediately and just doing 3-hour lifting sessions, 3-hour meditations, 2-page journals every day. It's not how it works. And thankfully, at least I had him to tell me that's not how it works. But you don't need people like me. You don't need people like him to tell you. Just simply read a book like Atomic Habits and you'll find out exactly how this works. So the two things we have here so far is a habit tracker and Atomic Habits. Now, we need to understand our situation. Simple. What are we doing in our day-to-day life? And equally as important, when are we doing these things in our day-to-day life? Because very likely, you'll be put in a situation from your day-to-day life where you can't do anything self-improvement related because you have something like school or work. For the other times that we have available, really should be spent doing the bad habits. These two are important. So we know that during school or work, anything self-improvement related is completely out the drain. Fair enough. So simply, analyze what time you have in the day that is not allocated to school or work. And it'll track to the big portion of time that you have left being spent doing bad habits. And these things can range from playing video games, watching Netflix, or just lighting up a joint and going to the skate park with your friends. Which obviously, just lighting up the joint is the problem there. So you're going to completely expect me to say to wipe out these things and completely replace them with the good new habits, right? No. Now, yes, this is our main goal. And I am at this stage right now. I've completely cut out video games. I don't really watch any shows anymore. I don't do none of that. Just self-improvement related things, my good habits, and the work I do in front of you as I'm speaking. But just like you, completely cutting out all the bad habits and replacing them with the good new habits would just be an overwhelming thing to start off my self-improvement journey. So simply, as Atomic Habits mentions, you want to go through your day, what you do every day, and find a time where you can stick these habits. And most of the time, it'll be before you do these bad habits. So right after school, before self-improvement, I used to go just straight on the Xbox. Now, when I got into self-improvement in the beginning stage, before playing the game after getting back from school, I made sure I went down in the basement and still got a good lift in. Then I enjoyed the video game with my friends. And also keep in mind, I journaled before school. So that's 2 habits out the way. And no, honestly, what I did before playing video games as well, I got my lift in, but I also made sure to meditate and read. That knocked out my 4 habits for the day. Then I played video games. Sorry, I had to kind of rewind there for a bit. It's been a while. New location, about a year ago. Hard to rewind sometimes. But honestly, for the most part, playing video games was the only bad habit I did. Of course, I was eating junk food quite a bit, but that was just more of a dietary change I had to make in general. I mean, sometimes I wasted a lot of time watching shows. It wasn't like an everyday thing. It was during periods when I found a show. Like, I remember Better Call Saul was around, like, I used to really like watching that for a big period. And then when it was over, that is actually probably the last full show I watched, was probably Better Call Saul. After that, I actually haven't touched the show ever since. I think it ended like 3-4 months ago at this rate. So yeah, I'm pretty clean, man. For one of these things, I don't really want to call it bad because it really does help the social pillar of self-improvement, but it wasn't directly self-improvement related. It was just going out with my friends, 1 to 2 times a week. Luckily, it was usually on the weekends. So just as I did before I got on the video game during a school week, I just made sure to do all my habits before I went out. And this is what you should do as well. If you have a pretty straightforward day, just go to school and then have all the time to yourself after you come back from school, just follow exactly what I did. But if you're someone that has work and school together, you really have to analyze your day here. What can you do before school, and also what can you do before or after work? It all depends on your schedule, and this is where you have to do some self-analyzing yourself. Alright, nice. So now you have a little schedule here that shows when you do your habits, as well as a habit tracker to show the frequency of you doing these certain habits. Now, as we mentioned, we want to get to that point where we eventually completely cut off our bad habits. Now, what we want to do with this is taking time out of your bad habits every day and adding that time you took off the bad habits and put it into doing good habits, which would mostly make sense if it was something like journaling or reading. So let's look at this scenario. If you play video games for about 3 hours a day, I did like 2 to 3, so let's say 3. Cut off 5 minutes every day. If my math is right here, that is about 5 to 6 weeks and you're completely cutting off video games. just completely removing this bad habit from your life. Now, don't get egotistical here. Don't think you can immediately cut all this off. It is important that you take this slow approach to the psychological and physiological craving that your mind has for these certain bad addictions. Quitting right away is going to be extremely difficult for you, and it'll most likely get you to return to that bad habit in a matter of no time. So don't have an ego by thinking that you're bigger than cutting off these bad habits slowly. Alright, so after 2 to 3 months of consistently carrying this life out, you can definitely now say that you're properly on self-improvement. You are consistently doing these habits, practically completely wiped out all your bad habits. You're doing more of the habits from lifting, meditating, journaling, and reading. And the results of these habits are actually starting to creep in now. On a side note, those challenges like NoFap, Dopamine Detox, and Monk Mode, that's fair to say you can try doing those now as you're more consistent on self-improvement. And these challenges will now help your input and output of the habits that you do. Now, the part that you've probably been waiting for, we can now get to the point where we focus on the financial side and find your general purpose, at least the purpose that helps you get money. Now, as I said, after reading Atomic Habits, reading the 4-Hour Work Week is encouraged. Now, why the 4-Hour Work Week? Because this book shows you the lifestyle to strive for and how to get it. Now, in order to make it out of the rat race, the system, the matrix, we not only want an abundance of money, but also time and location freedom. I mean, this book was everything Andrew Tate was preaching about before getting famous. We want to not prioritize the money we make, even though this is important and it goes hand in hand with the next thing I'll tell you. But we want to prioritize the time and location freedom that we get. Those two go hand in hand, but you have to prioritize the time and location freedom. We can either do this through an online business or through an online career/skill that can have you work remotely and practically whenever you want, which grants you that location and time freedom. That's why I respect Hustlers University, to be honest with you. It has given the people the opportunity to work online whenever and wherever they want, and I gotta apply to Andrew and his team for that. But the method that catches the most eyes is quite obviously the business route. Oh yes, all the doomers and black pillars are gonna say, "Oh wait, you can't say that, not everyone in the world can have a business." Yes, we get it. Can we quickly talk about that statement for a second? I'm sorry, but it pisses me off so much. I mean, there's no universe where everyone will start a business. There are always the lazy ones. Just like the people who make the statement themselves. Those types of people don't have the capabilities of running a business. They don't have that discipline. They don't have that grit. Yeah, we know. Everyone's not like that. Shut up, bro. But yeah, not everyone could go down the business route. And you shouldn't feel guilty about that. Because the online career/skill still gets you the most important goal that we have here. Time and location freedom. Just with the slight con of having less money. But everyone should still try to go down that business route, just as I am right here. Come up with a few ideas that you want to convert into a business. Think about what problems people have that you can provide the solution for. This is hard now, because this whole video was me here giving you a roadmap as to where to go on your self-improvement journey with not much creativity involved. Now, you have to think. You literally have to stare at your wall and brainstorm. The process does take a while, but eventually you will get some ideas. Honestly, that's all I can tell you about that. I mean, I can't individually tell every single one of you, you go make this type of refrigerator. You go develop this certain type of rat trap. It doesn't work like that. The ideas literally have to come within. You have to use your own brain here. But in this book, it will of course give you important philosophies to follow, such as the 80-20 principle and the Parkinson's law. But the most important piece, in the context of this video at least, is what to aim for when running your business and your online career. The big thing here is to focus on automation, specifically outsourcing. What outsourcing is essentially hiring people, particularly from third world countries, to work for you. Yes, you don't have to run a business or be a boss at a company to have people work for you. Doing this helps you fulfill the 80-20 principle that I just mentioned not too long ago, where essentially we have more time to focus on important tasks that bring us the bulk of our overall results, while someone else does the minor tasks. Going down the business route definitely requires more outsourcing. That doesn't mean the online career/skill route doesn't require any at all. So aim for those careers where you can outsource, where you can just identify those important tasks and outsource the smaller ones. As you can see, I'm currently trying to go down that business route where I can outsource everything so I can work as less as possible. But right now, I'm doing it all, man. I'm recording, editing, making the thumbnails, writing the descriptions, you name it. It is a headache. But I am aiming for the income that I will be getting from YouTube to cover the expenses of the people that I'll be outsourcing. Soon enough, I'll be having people working for me on all ends, an editor, a thumbnail artist, a copywriter, and all I'll have to do is just to simply record and then post the videos I get sent from the editors. And this is what you have to follow, all of this, financially and the self-improvement route. I have eliminated all my bad habits, replaced it with my good habits. I'm doing more of my good habits and progressively overloading them so I can keep improving and focusing on my future income as I'm doing what I speak to you right here. Ultimately, this is the point that you want to get on self-improvement. So don't rush into money right away. Start doing these 4 good habits. Follow this process. Then, once the time comes, stay on self-improvement. Keep doing more of what good habits you're doing. Try these mainstream challenges like NoFap and dopamine detox, if you please, and then combine it with your aspirations to make money and to attain time and location freedom. That's basically what you should be aiming for on self-improvement. Follow everything I told you from start to finish, and just keep repeating it. Consistency is the key here to succeed on self-improvement. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have, please make sure to subscribe and also share with your friends so we can keep spreading the self-improvement community. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one.